And what is up, everybody? Welcome to the State of the Game podcast, where we talk about Mortal Kombat 11. And this week, I have some fantastic guests with me. First off, I do want to introduce my co-host, DreamxEaterx. Be sure to go and follow that guy, the awesome tournament Xbox organizer. He's a fantastic dude. And with me, as always, is our new guests. We got Savoyboy, we got SilverSandBag, and we got TheRoyalBurr. How you guys doing today? Thank you for swinging in and being with us for this podcast this week.
What's up? What's up?
Yeah, I thought this was Call of Duty.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh well, I mean, we can do Call of Duty after.
Starting off strong.
Yeah, Warzone patch, huh?
DMR.
So, some interesting things happened recently. We just got a new patch for Mortal Kombat 11, which already I see it in the chat. Dream RoboCop is fine. Not yet, okay? We'll get to that. We'll get there. But we just got a new patch with a bunch of characters getting some slight changes. It's not a huge patch, but we're going to definitely get into it and talk about it. So first off, I want to open it up to DreamxEaterx. Dream, do you have anything off of this patch that you are not too excited about?
No, not in particular. I think the patch is for the most part good. It's not an overwhelming patch. I think arguably maybe what I'm not excited about is that I did not see Cetrion or Jacqui on here at all.
I know.
We're planning to kind of go through this list of patch changes, but missing and absent from the list is, of course, some of those upper tier characters that people were potentially anticipating some kind of changes to them. Going down the list, though, real quick, some of them are also bug fixes, like this first one for Devora. The number of wafts currently affecting an opponent will no longer sometimes be reset if Stepsister connects while the opponent is hit reaction to Swarm. That feels like a bug fix, right? If that's doing that, it shouldn't happen. Kano now just got some slight frame adjustments. Hit reaction for Fig Jam amplified will no longer have the use of the incorrect blood color. That's another kind of minor adjustment. The first real adjustment on here, though, Kotal Khan loses a little bit of health. I think that's the first one that we can kind of take a peek at. I think absolutely needed it. Didn't lose enough, but I'm curious as to what our guests kind of think about Kotal Khan getting stepped down to 1050.
Oh boy, where do I start?
I don't even think that 50 matters. I feel like it should have just been 100.
Dude, the 50 doesn't matter because sure, like now he doesn't survive as much as he normally can. He still has the sunbeam that still covers up the 50 health that he lost because he still can turtle you up and regenerate all of the health that you just been struggling to do with him. If Kotal ever gets the life lead against you, good luck ever trying to slowly whittle him down because he'll just sit back, throw his disc at you, and just heal up in sun. They gave him his damage plus healing totem back, which was already ridiculous before it. Yeah, the blood totem did get nerfed, but he still does a ridiculous amount of damage, has another way of healing now, and then they fix his disc on hit to where it hits people now. Like, why is it every time they change something about Kotal Khan, they always give him something to back it up when you have other characters such as, like, I'll say RoboCop, for instance, Shao Kahn. Anytime they get nerfed, it's just a nerf and nothing else. And then Kotal Khan, it's like, oh, we're taking this away from you, but here, we'll give you this in return. Like, this character is always being catered to and, like, promoted as, like, their top character that they want to buff up. I just don't understand it.
I agree. I was also going to say, this is, like, kind of more of, like, a minor patch, I guess you'd say. There wasn't any, like, game-changing things that happened, kind of just little changes to small things. Like, I think right off the top of my head, there's a lot of things that Kotal's, like, super good at. He's incredibly strong right now. But why does he need a down 4 that jails into his unblockable? Like, that would have been, regardless of the health and all the other stuff he's got going on, to me, that just seems kind of like, it's just like, it's cheesy. It's just like, what is this? Why does he get to just hit you with the down 4 and go into that? I guess I'd rather there's a lot of other changes I would have done, but that would have been more like the top of my list rather than let's fix his amp disc that maybe had an issue at max distance on one string. I mean, take your pick on the cast where that happens with other shit. You know what I mean?
And Burr, what do you think about so far some of these changes that we've already gone over?
I feel like they focused on characters that everyone was complaining about, and I'm kind of glad Jacqui kind of went under the radar. Just saying
You
that 'cause I
son
play
of a-
Jacqui.
Oh my god, the
No,
bias!
no,
the bias!
No,
But the
I'm
only
actually
thing is,
really
the only
encouraged.
thing for this patch, I was really hoping for some Nightwolf slot fixes because a lot of people there's a lot of Nightwolf players. Like Gambler's literally the only one really left, and it sucks because I used to play Nightwolf all the time. If you guys know me, but I was hoping they would fix the slots, especially the Rising Tomahawk slot. That's been bothering me. Why is it 2?
Yeah, why
Please.
is it 2?
Yeah, especially since you can break away out of it before the amplify
What
even
makes
comes
me
out.
mad is the shaman roll one. It's technically 2 slots, but it's like an amplify, like the upgraded thing, like the shrapnel's amplify. It's like, come on, dude.
Yeah, it takes 2 slots in order to even get the combo version of it, right?
Yeah, that's the launcher. 2 slots for either launcher.
That's pretty
That's
ridiculous.
so weird, dude.
I mean, technically he has a no meter launcher, but it's a back 2 and it's -12, so it's it's not good.
And it's super slow, anyways.
That's not unheard of, though, having to have your launcher from abilities.
I was actually gonna say I think that's with customs. I think a lot of people got really strong, and that exact point is kind of true with like a lot of other characters on the roster now, where it's like, why do I have to actually put this on my kit? Like, why does this cost 2 points or cost 1 point? And other people have the same type of stuff just in their base kit. I get it's like a balance thing potentially for some characters, but for other characters, it's like you have moves that are completely, almost borderline useless in the game that are like 2 slots, and then you have moves that are like, yeah, I mean. So I get what he's saying about Nightwolf, but I do think that is like a common thing in
Yeah, it's definitely
general
not just
now.
a Nightwolf problem. You know, like Baraka suffers from the same issue.
Baraka, big time.
Baraka's got gutted as his main and basically his only launcher. You can get launchers with Spine Burst in the corner and stuff, but for the most part, they're just
Excuse me.
gutted. And those are abilities. You know, I play Noob Saibot, and while all of those abilities are single slot, every one of his launchers is also an ability. He doesn't have innate just launching strings or anything like that outside of the corner. Which, you know, well, I guess, can Nightwolf launch off of any of his normal strings outside of the corner? I think he can only do it with back 2, right?
Yeah, only back 2. It's the only one.
All right. Well, at least he's got a viable crushing blow with the other.
It's his command grab, right?
It's
No, the overhead.
Oh, the overhead?
The
Oh,
pop-up,
Yeah,
yeah.
Are you talking about
yeah,
3, 4, 2?
Crushing blow. No,
Yeah.
you guys said crushing blow. I thought I was thinking overbreaker
That's
there.
a forbidden KB though. 3, 4, 2.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to hit. A lot of people already see it coming unless you're going for the mix and you got them, you know, you have
And, dude,
spirit
despite the
tracks.
number of people that see it coming, I still see it happen all
I've
the
actually-
time. I'm just saying.
I-
Happens
like,
more than Noob
I've had
Saibot
people-
back 3.
I've
Happens
hit
much
people
more
with
than
the
Noob Saibot.
shoulder KB before I hit people with the 3, 4, 2.
Dude, that one's
No.
good too. That one starts combos. That sounds tight. I wish I had an accidental KB that I could hit people with as a Noob Saibot player. That'd be tight.
Yeah, me too as a RoboCop player, right? Am I right?
You have your low shot is guaranteed, guaranteed every match. That's a crushing blow that you should get almost every game.
You can always just down 2 match with Noob.
Yeah, we'll get to RoboCop. All right, so
No!
I guess we were talking about the other changes to Dakota with the Yaya disc being switched as well as the totems. They let him have more of his totems together. I don't think that's bad. I think the idea for him having multiple totems is cool. How they decide to tone that or adjust that, maybe the totems don't do as much if you have multiples. I don't really know how they're going to adjust that kind of stuff, but I at minimum like the idea of mix and match on the totems because that does provide some extra creativity. Looks like Kung Lao just got himself a sort of bug fix, right? Well, with one of his moves no longer resetting crushing blows. And then Shao Kahn now gets to be the big boy on the block with 1100 health. I know, Junk, you play a bit of Shao Kahn. Do you think an extra 50 health is going to be somewhat helpful?
I mean, it's nice to have an extra 50 health. I mean, it's Shao Kahn, you know, he should have, I think he, out of all the people in the cast, he should have been one of the people that did have 1100 health, because he's a big, beefy dude, you know, and
Agreed.
he doesn't have that great of, like, long range game. So for him to get in, that 50 health will, you know, help him in some regard. But Is it a little too much? I'm not too sure. I don't think so. I think it's nice for him to have that little extra breathing room. He does do tremendous amounts of damage, but I don't think something like that is gonna change Shao Kahn overall in a huge regard, where it's gonna push him up the tier list just because he got 50 extra health.
Mm-hmm.
All it kind of did was just make him get his ass kicked just a little bit slower now. That's really all the.
Well,
the
but
50
the
health
thing
did.
is I think when you consider an extra 50 health, though, it does matter, and also it means that his fatal blow, which is not terrible, now becomes active that much earlier for him, or whatever. Like, he has got that much more health when it triggers. Now it's a little bit more because it moves the meters on more than just the health bar, and it allows him to, if we're talking about a character that can churn out 40% damage, being able to survive another few pokes, another stray hit here and there, to then open them up for that big 40% to steal the game. I think 50 health is quite valuable ultimately.
Exactly.
Like, Shao Kahn is going to be able to utilize that well. I still think that for the most part, obviously they didn't make any fundamental changes to the character. He still is, he flawless block, the low in his mid string. It kind of blows up a lot of his offense. He doesn't have the Unga Bunga mix up even afterward anymore. But nonetheless, if you're a patient Shao Kahn player, now you have that much more time to be a little bit more patient, bait somebody into jumping in, catch him with a stray back 3 hammer swing, which goes quite far and can really capitalize on big damage. So I think it's not a big change, but I think for the most part, Shao Kahn is going to be able to take advantage of that. Speaking of 50 health, though, there is somebody else that got 50 health.
My Robo, my freaking RoboCop.
So, how do you feel? You said 50 health is great. How do you feel about 50 health, Junk? Just say he's fine. How do you
No,
feel
he's
about
not
50
fine.
health?
He's all right. Okay, he got a little help. Okay, I will take the 50 health. Don't get at me. I will take the 50 health. But the biggest thing that actually helped him was the adjusted hit region on his get up / flawless block attack. That was huge. I hated whiffing a lot of his things when it came to, like, dude, some things that didn't need to even whiff. Like, for instance, if Scorpion did his flick kick and I actually got the flawless block, my flawless block up 2 would completely miss. And I know RoboCop isn't the only one that it would whiff on, but that's the bigger change that I'm super glad to have seen. The 50 health is nice because, like, MK Striker was saying, RoboCop having the life lead is a bigger deal than a lot of people think, especially with his level of zoning that he's got. But I will say, I still want a couple of other changes for him. But I mean, I don't know. I'm not the developer. I don't know which changes would make him a little too broke. But for me, it's mostly like hit region, changes. I believe his 1-2-1 string, his mid still whiffs on crouch blocking Johnny. Yeah.
Johnny and Cetrion.
Cetrion can down 4. Yeah, it can down 4 right out of it, but he's not the only one that she can down 4 out of it. So definitely need some and that's just not a RoboCop only thing. I like those changes for RoboCop. I wish I had gotten at least just one tick, grab off of a string. That would have been amazing. But dude, come on, can a guy not ask for one?
That is absurd that you want a zoning character to also be terrifying when he's up close.
Terrifying? He's got slow frames, bro. People poke on me.
He pretty much describes Cetrion.
Let's have Savoy go here.
I was just going to say, I am not the person you want to go to for the RoboCop tech or anything, but I will say I did start just kind of like as a joke messing around with him in Combat League this season because I'm like, screw it, it's season 1 all over again. To Junk's point, I think I played close to 100 matches with RoboCop, and I don't think I hit a single up 2. I do not recall hitting a single up 2 in that entire time I've used RoboCop since he's been out. So I will
100%
say
agree. The up 2 is jank. The up 2
Right.
is jank.
And
That has been, I've seen multiple clips from other people. I've watched Junk with it on his stream. I've seen, clips from Viz. He's put clips up of his up 2 just completely failing him. And it's not just a RoboCop problem, but there were a lot of situations where it seemed like, oh man, that sucks. That RoboCop can't even like when you are forced to be defensive, be able to do something. So I 100% agree. Changing the up 2, great idea. That was a change that the character 100% deserved.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I'm basically just the hitbox stuff. I was just kind of backpacking off of what you said. His stand one doesn't hit crap ever. I can have people do a move that's like minus like 15 right in my face, and that shit will not hit them. It will not hit them. But
you have a 10 frame mid. If they're doing stuff that's minus 15, then you should be doing your 10
frame mid. But if they're minus, let's say 11 or something, and we're playing Combat League on some dude with 100 ping Wi-Fi, you got 1 frame to make sure that shit doesn't mess up. You know what I mean? And that's your stand one's not going to hit them. It is not. And if you look at all the low tiers, right? If you look at all the people at the bottom that are generally considered lower end of the tier list, they all have a shit stand one. Their string might be good, but the initial first hit is always crap. Like Robo, his stand one doesn't hit anything. Shao Kahn, his stand one is actually really good. It's +3 on block, and it's a great anti-air, but it whiffs on tons of people, and it's a 9 framer, not a 7 or an 8, right? Like if you look at Baraka, his 1-1 string is great, but his stand one misses on everything, right? And like I'm a proponent that Frost has a ton of whiffing issues. Her stand one is garbage. Like I think that's actually like a serious thing. If your stand one doesn't punish something, you're already at like a massive disadvantage. You know what I mean? For Robo not to have a stand one punish so then he can restand you, I get he's a zoner, but it's like eventually they are going to get in. His zoning is not that good.
Yeah,
He's
that's what I was gonna say. His zoning
get in at some point.
is good, but it's not game breaking where I can just destroy my opponents and not even let them even get near to me, dude. I mean, teleporters can get in super easily. I have to be pretty careful with my zoning. I'm not a zoner in the traditional sense. I'm an anti-zoner. I'm supposed to beat your zoning out with RoboCop. So that being said, why is Kotal Khan allowed to have a string into a tick grab, but RoboCop isn't? Like,
because RoboCop is a zoner. I don't necessarily think that RoboCop is an anti-zoner. First off, I think that RoboCop is going to zone characters that don't have zoning. Like it's not just about anti-zoning. Yes, the character can deal with other characters zoning, but just because you can outshoot Baraka's projectiles and shut him down doesn't mean that you're anti-zoning the Baraka. No, you're zoning Baraka players. You have better zoning than him, and you're zoning them out. Like that's what you're doing. You're not anti-zoning them. You're zoning them out. Maybe like Scarlet, sure, but.
I still don't think one tick throw would kill him though. Like it's already a mid command grab. You have to be careful with those in this game. But like the range of it, all things considered, how he's a zoner, all that other stuff. I do think he's allowed at least one. I don't know what they would make the tick throw on, but
I don't think that he needs to have a tick throw. I feel like that is way over the top wishful thinking.
Yeah,
I think it should not be on a top wishful thinking.
Because then he's just going to abuse some poke into special crap.
I don't even think Jax has tick throws off of strings. Like Jax can't.
Jax does 2-2-1.
He has tick throws.
Yeah, off of a string that he has to equip off of an ability.
I have to equip Terminal Strip as RoboCop.
Okay, but Jax has to equip the command grab, and he has to equip the extra string to do it.
But that benefits Jax because of his playstyle. If I had to equip,
I think Jax should totally have command grabs because he's up close in people's faces.
Think about RoboCop. If you had to equip his move that would allow him to tick throw and the mid command grab, people would be doing those two moves in the low auto 9.
I think that those people should just go fucking play a different character. If you want to be command grabbing people, go play someone else. Like, if you're so attached to the idea of I want to do tick throws, play someone else. Play a different character that isn't designed around having an arsenal of guns.
But that's not the point. The point of the variation system is literally so you can play your character the way you want to play them. It's not supposed to
certain
be.
extent,
Oh,
to a certain
if you
extent,
want this
yes.
character, yes. No, that's literally what the variation system is for. Yes, it is.
It's not intended to turn Scorpion
It's-
into a zoner.
It's not going
like
to
it's
do
not-
things like that, but it's able
Exactly, and
to
it's not going to
morph
give
a
RoboCop
character
rush down command
to.
grab off a tick throw.
I
Well, if
honestly
you only have
still
one
don't
tick
think.
throw, I don't think that makes him.
Yeah, I don't
rush
think.
down.
I think that
I agree. I
having
actually
one
agree
string.
with Dream on this,
When
but I do
RoboCop gets close
also
to people,
think that
should
there
not
should be
be
one
knocking, like
tick throw.
poking people or doing strings into command grabs. It should be getting them away from you so you can go back to zoning them again.
But why is Cetrion
so-
able to be a rushdown character in the
Cetrion's
same
a completely
regard?
different character. Cetrion's a completely different discussion.
But
I'm
it's
not
the
trying
same.
to-
But it's this. You're getting into the same kind of discussion with those two because you're saying
Sure, and
that
my
one
arguments
character,
would be that
one
Cetrion
character is
doesn't
supposed to
need
be a
as strong
zoner
as
and
she
just
is.
stick to being a zoner, and yet other characters that aren't being touched are allowed to just do whatever the hell they want.
I mean, ultimately, we're not going to be able to change anything. I think we can all establish like a ground rule here that we're not developers. Paolo's not going to make my cell phone vibrate at the end of this and ask me to join the team. So we're not making changes to anything.
He might.
I'm just saying I don't think that RoboCop needs a command grab. That doesn't mean that I'm also saying in the same token, also I think Cetrion is great and shouldn't be changed at all. Like, I have a completely different set of opinion on Cetrion. She's definitely way too strong. She should be in the 700 health club. They should make a club just for her. 700 health club. Let's go. But that's a completely different
the
discussion.
Cetrion players are crying.
I don't think that like RoboCop to Cetrion, we can talk about them in the different conversations. I do not think that RoboCop needs a tick throw. I don't think he needs a tick throw off of his string.
Burr,
I
you've
think
been
that
you've been
he
quiet
just
here,
needs
dude. What do you
better
think, man?
zoning.
What do you think?
I was just letting y'all go at it. I didn't want to interrupt because, like, I don't have a problem with RoboCop, but I don't
I was
honestly
just sitting here eating popcorn.
I don't.
Are you saying RoboCop is fine?
Oh yeah.
I feel like, because I'm not gonna lie, when the whole Aftermath came out of the three, I didn't touch Fujin, I didn't touch Shiva. I really went straight to RoboCop, and I think like he is a zoner more than anti-zoning, but he has that KB for like the high zonings or what the high projectiles.
Mm-hmm.
But the tick throw thing, I'm kind of with DreamxEaterx. I feel like it's a bit. I don't think he needs it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what I was going off. I said I agree with Dream, but he does need something. And if one tick throw is what all the RoboCop players want, I think one tick throw would be okay.
I mean, it's
feel
still
like
a,
if you give
it's
him
still
a
a
tick throw,
good
then you
command.
start to promote
Look at the
people
damage,
getting up close
though.
and personal. And not to
Isn't
mention,
it
he gets great damage off of the tick throw.
Yeah.
He can side switch with it if he wants to spend meter, and he can side switch and corner carry and like all sorts of stuff. He can walk
Isn't it
pretty far
his
with
armor
that shit.
break?
The only thing,
Yeah,
all right.
Well,
What? No, it's
break
not
is
his armor
the air
break.
thing. It's his.
Wait,
He's got
how
a
do you-
crushing roll on it.
How do you
if
get
he
the How do you get the
roll.
KB then?
The
If you
KB
catch
is
a
if you
roll.
catch a roll.
Okay.
The only thing, if they're gonna keep it like that, I really wish the input was different. That's the only thing. If the
I
input
can
was
agree with the
easier,
input changing
I
too,
would
100%.
love that.
The input's weird.
Something,
I mean, like,
I just need
photos is
something
my
to make
downside,
it easier to
too.
pull off.
Well, with the command grab, doesn't Melina have the same exact input though?
Yeah, and I
Forward
would make
back
the
down?
same changes to
Forward
her.
down
I
back?
don't understand that command
Okay.
grab input. Kotal Khan gets down back for a fucking mid command grab, and Melina and RoboCop players have to fucking rewrite their brains and turn the controller upside down to make it make sense. It is
Best mid
insane
command grab.
that they
Same
just
for
randomly decided
Terminator,
to
Rambo.
put a different.
I will say in other fighting games though, there are inputs like that for command grabs, like the half
Oh
circle.
yeah, that's not unheard of. It's not unheard of. It's just weird.
Zangief
It's
has a
just
full
weird.
circle command grab input. Like
Yeah, you
in
gotta
Street
hide that
Fighter,
one in normal so you don't
Zangief
jump.
has a full circle.
No, I think that you don't need to give like I think if you really want RoboCop buffs, 50 health, that's a good buff. Making his up to actually viable, that's a good buff, and probably maybe not even a buff, maybe just more of a adjustment or a fix to the character. But I think that if they are going to continue to give RoboCop more things, I'd like those things to not be better tools to promote his up close offense. So like a tick throw off of his strings that will make you want to get in close and swing with his strings. I would prefer that they give him better ways of getting people away from him. Give him, faster startup on his parry so that people don't want to touch you, or just something. I mean, I don't know how fast the parry is already. I don't see enough people using it. Make his parry beat lows, or give it some more use, because I think Kotal Khan's parry beats lows. Doesn't it do everything? It just doesn't beat jump or something.
Yeah, just not jump-ins.
Yeah, so I think that maybe making some changes to maybe the robo parry or some other changes to some of his other tools, like his down 3, maybe give it some more pushback or whatever. I think RoboCop is intended to be a zoner, so I think that they should be promoting more of a zoning playstyle from the character. If we want to briefly talk about Setran, I think that character, if she's supposed to be a zoner, they should be promoting that. Tornado should not be the obnoxious rush down tool that it is. That move is fucking wild and needs to cost 2 slots, needs to have some different sort of conflicts introduced with it so you can't use it with all the other shit. Like, that move is wild, and I don't agree that Setran should be allowed to rush you down either. I also think that maybe RoboCop could use a better anti-air move. Like, that would be his up pistol, give it one where he can, like, hold it, you hold forward, and instead of shooting just like up at that 45-degree angle, let him shoot it at like a fucking 25 to kind of catch people that are jumping up in the back of the screen. You know what I mean? Like that sort of coverage area where they can jump over some of his other zoning. Maybe that would be the other thing, is let him actually control every part of the screen. He's an officer of the law. He needs to control space. So that's what I would prefer, as opposed to a tick grab.
I mean, just to one more thing before we hop off of RoboCop. They really didn't do much for his like grenade launcher. It's one of the like least used abilities when it comes to like a special. The only time I really get to safely use it is when I send them full screen, and then I have the opportunity to throw it at their feet to check them, and then I have a little bit of plus frame so I can maybe get a shot in. But I mean, most of the time, I figured out one setup where if I get my forward 2, and it's the little front forward kick and pop up, they get sent away. I can drop a mid screen mine, and if they roll, I can get the punish on it, and I can actually combo off of it. But other than that, it's just like a space tool that most people will just get past easily. So I don't know what they could do for it, but like that's something that I feel like might need a little adjustment. I don't know what exactly, but
which move are you talking about? Are you talking about the ability of the grenade launcher?
Yeah,
the down back.
Just the regular grenade itself, like without the cow traps or the gas grenade, just the regular exploding grenade that you can amplify to turn into the mine.
That one. Oh, okay, and that one that you can turn. So
that actually made me think.
Striker had some cool setups with that. I saw Striker with some good setups for that, where people try to jump away from it, and he anti-air guns them, and they fall into the mine. Striker had some good setups for that. There's uses for that.
I think Savoy had an idea for it.
I was just gonna say, we in green, or SilverSandBag here, we're just playing a set, and I was thinking, why don't they just make the grenade launcher stay around when he gets hit? It's not some overpowering move. Like,
yeah, dude.
I know I'm not like the one bringing that up. I've heard plenty of people say that, but I think that's kind of what you were talking about, Dream. How he doesn't need a tick throw. Like, that's kind of on board with what I'm saying. Maybe just fix his whiffing with stand 1, and then make his grenade launcher stick around even when he gets hit, because you could potentially almost meaty with a close range grenade launcher. They get up and hit you, and then the grenade launcher knocks them down, and then that kind of created some space. That's just one situation. But
are you talking about the amplified one goes away when you get hit, and you want to just that one around?
The regular one goes away.
I think
fizzles.
The problem with the normal one then becomes, though, is that what people will do is they will, instead of a tick throw, they do down 1 grenade launcher, and I don't give a fuck if you hit me or not. If you hit me because you decide to push buttons, the grenade goes off and knocks me back to a better screen where I'm just going to go back to shooting at you.
Yeah, but Joker gets the same thing.
I'm just going to keep running away. Okay, Joker's a different conversation. Joker's fucking bullshit, dude. Take the character out of the game. Fucking hate that thing.
That's true with a lot of low folks into specials.
Hate that thing.
And there is enough time for you to at least press something there, because you would at least hit Robo before the move comes out and hits you, which is not true with a ton of low pokes into specials that are completely bonkers in this game. I think that's actually more of a tame low poke into special than other stuff.
I don't know, I just feel like if you make the grenade launcher stick around. And the thing is, if you want to have like a hit, because you can get a grenade that actually has a hurt box. If you take the other one, the gas grenade, that one actually has a hurt box while it travels and stuff. Like there are ways that you can kind of tweak your abilities.
Hurt box while it travels. That's a good one too.
Yeah, and that one's hard. That one has like kind of coverage for that airspace region that people can kind of jump out, but they're not jumping quite yet into the range of his anti-air gun. Like I think RoboCop just needs to take the RoboCop community needs to take some more time and just get their grind on, figure out the playstyle that works. I think almost immediately anybody complaining about how their up close offense isn't good, I think you're doing it wrong. I think your up close offense should be almost explicitly tied to getting away. Character has one of the most fucking obnoxious knockback tools or pushback tools in the game in the form of the amplified anti-material rifle. As long as they don't duck the first hit, which I don't know if it jails on certain strings or not, maybe it does, it probably doesn't, but as long as you get them to block the 2 mid shots on the amplify, they're back to full screen. So who gives a shit if you can't fucking open people up every time they get near you? Get them away from you. That's the whole fucking game plan. And I just think there's too many Robocops that are like, I want to do combos though. Play someone else.
I will say this, even if Robo doesn't have great up-close game, and your goal is to get them, I agree with Dream, your goal is to have them full screen zoning them out. Even if you have them up close, you have the flamethrower. You don't need flashy combos with this character. You have some of the best unbreakable combo damage in the game. Like, so if you want good up close damage, you don't have to play the wake up system. You don't have to guess what your opponent is going to do. Everything you do leaves the opponent standing. So now they're at your mercy. You can decide after flamethrower, do I want to keep attacking or no? I'm just going to dash back to full screen. Now you have to try to come get to me again. I truly think RoboCop is a good zoner with great anti-zoning tools and amazing strike throw gameplay due to flamethrower and Cobra Cannon dictating where you have to be on the screen against him. I don't think he's as bad as people say. People just are trying to play him too much as a close ranger and not to his full zoner capabilities.
Agreed.
All right, well, to move on, we do have Shiva up on the list as well. So now going off of the patch, Dragon Drop is now off screen for 2 more frames before her drop attack begins, and Dragon Stance now has 2 more startup frames. What do you guys think of that?
Right. I'm going to start off because I think out of the 5 of us, I might have the most Shiva experience. If anyone has more, please correct me, but I've been playing Shiva since she first dropped with Aftermath. I played Variation 3 because that was the most fun. After customs and everything, I don't even use Dragon Stance or Drop. I will say, the Dragon Stance, like the fire thing, that is actually a decent nerf. Now, if she does stance up close, you can down one her out of it, so she can't just cancel anything into the special move and be safe forever. You can actually challenge her and beat her out. I will say the Stomp didn't change a fucking thing. All it did now is just mess up people's timings on how to dodge it. The only way to have really nerfed this move is to increase recovery. Not like too much, but enough for if someone messes up a dash, they can still get in and punish. I truly do think that this was a lazy excuse of a nerf, and it didn't really change anything for Stomp. It's basically just encouraging people to stomp it more because people are going to fuck up their timings on dodging it now.
I might have the unpopular opinion here, but I feel like Enhanced Dragon Drop should have been banned. That's just me.
No, I agree with that.
That's maybe I think was a little bit too excessive. I think that banning things should be a last resort. I would arguably like to see more of the banned moves become unbanned. It was great when we saw Terminal Strip and Flamethrower become allowed. Seeing the Codal Totems now being allowed to have a little bit more interchangeability, or you can pair them up a little bit more, I think is great. I want everything to come off of unbanned, except for the moves that are clearly like, okay, there is no room for this. The moves where people resurrect themselves. Terminate. Well, actually, honestly, terminate with that armor. With everybody having armor break, if armor break was a bit more normalized and didn't require certain characters to have to take the ability to do it, I would say terminate is allowed because certain characters have to equip theirs. Like Melina's having it being a command grab is like, oh well, now you got to get close to him. So good luck.
Wait, hold on, real quick. I just want to make note. TheRoyalBurr just changed his profile picture to buff Jacqui. Can we kick him out of the call real quick? Can we kick him out of the call?
She definitely needs help.
And I think that people are figuring out Jacqui. We'll get to it, but I don't think that we should be banning abilities though. I think we should be making more abilities viable and make them workable. I would love to see, like, Sindel has a banned ability where she can float and has those moves off the float. I would love to see some changes to that move to make that work. Make it cost 3 slots. do whatever you got to do to make it work. Robocop's move where he shoots the screen, that shit's banned unless there's some weird it actually disrupts competitive play because it disrupts the screen when it breaks and whatever. If there's some other justifiable reason behind it, maybe, but that was such a weird, why can't we use trick shot, you know what I mean? And I'd like to see everything eventually become available, more freedom to play how we want to play.
I understand the trick shot because it messes with the opponent's and your screen. He shoots
that's the only thing I can think of is it fucks with the screen a little bit, which
it messes with the screen, so I understand that. But the enhanced drag and drop is so obnoxious, dude. And it's not. It's just it's just a constant guessing game, and it's not. I personally don't think it's fun at all. But
I don't think that banning it is the fix, though. I think that
you might be right.
Changing it, make some changes to it, and that
I feel like it's a party move. Not like a move that should be used in tournament.
That's what I always say, man.
It's a move to use.
I would agree. It is a bit of a party move. I think that party move should be super punishable. We all remember when the game first came out, the stomp was not that bad. When they made the hurt box adjustments, they made everybody's hurt box bigger. That inadvertently buffed Dragon Drop or Dragon Stomp or fucking whatever the hell it's called.
They also increased. They also, when Ultimate dropped, they did increase the hitbox of Stomp itself. So the hitbox got increased, and her hitbox of Stomp itself also got increased. So it was like a double buff for Stomp.
I liked when you could walk out of it. I liked when it's a gimmicky move. There may be some setups and ways to lock people down, like the amplified big fireball that she can do to kind of force that to be a little bit harder to get out of, but I liked it in its original state. It didn't feel over the top broken when she first came out. It's only now, after they've made it that much easier to get caught, that it's not working. And you know what? I was talking to Tigers, and he said that the move got buffed. The changes that they made to it actually are a buff. That's not even a nerf.
That's exactly what we're talking about. It wasn't a nerf. All it did was just hurt people's dodge timing. So now everyone's I will say everyone can just go back in and relearn the timings of it. But as it stands right now, it is a complete and utter buff that they gave to the Stomp.
Right. And I don't have much to say on this. I was just going to say if that was their goal, was to slightly nerf drag and drop, but they for whatever reason they still want to see that move being used all the time. Why is it drag and drop? The change reads drag and drop is now off screen for 2 more frames before her drop attack begins, which means, you know how there's that little timing where the screen will shift and that's when you have an opportunity to move when she's already locked in on a location? That timing did not change. The timing where she's just floating around in orbit or whatever the hell she's doing up there is 2 frames more. What they should have done is either gave her 2 more frames of recovery or made the drop come down 2 frames slower to allow people to move out of the way. It would still be obnoxious. It would still be used. Don't tell me 2 frames is going to make people not do that all of a sudden. So that's just my only thing I really got to say is, why did they do it on the off-screen portion and not do that with either the recovery or the actual drop speed that she's coming down?
Bird, do you have anything to add off of this topic?
Shiva, I just play Scorpion. I'm mainly a counter picker when I fight her. So.
That's what I do.
Because you can completely changes the timing. I mean, they're talking about it changes the timing to deal with it. Have you noticed any necessary adjustments you've got to make as a Scorpion counter pick to it that the stomp timing has changed?
Well, you literally just teleport as the shift comes, and then she counters her. Like the moment she lands, she gets launched.
Waiting for the shift.
Even the enhanced drag and drop.
Cancel it. You can even cancel the teleport. So you know how Averick will always do the back 2 and to go back all the way to the full screen. You can do that, and she'll miss completely.
But you still missed your punish, because I play Scorpion.
Well, yeah.
Too.
Yeah,
that's kind of absurd to me that you're making the read among reads and wasting a defensive bar to not die and load her KB, and then you still can't get a punish on her. It's kind of all right, that's a little shitty to feel that way, but
I just hate it when I try to use Johnny and then they down 1 and I'm like, right after the stomp and they just down 1. I'm like, bruh.
Dude, I hate when the Shiva does the stomp. I go to grab or something and I just get down 2 KB because they just Like,
Yes,
I didn't do
they're,
it fast
they're
enough.
doing it
That's
all game.
that's
They're like, shit,
that's
I
just on
finally
me
missed
though.
down 2.
Yeah.
That's so
That's just
annoying.
on me that I didn't punish it correctly, so I ate the down 2, but it's still annoying.
Yeah, it is just annoying.
So I think
Moving on,
covers up the
we
heat, I
have
guess.
some
Melina.
Melina stuff. So Melina's poisonous butterfly towards back kick now has airborne frames when Melina is off the ground. The hit reactions to Condom Dash amplify, Condom Dash further amplify, and Ride and Dirty. Front punch, front punch, front punch, and front kick. Now have airborne frames when Melina is off the ground, and fixed a rare issue where playtime towards front punch, and back kick could leave a lingering visual effect on certain costumes.
I do think the forward 4 airborne effect is pretty nice. It's a great way because whenever you tried to like stagger stuff and go into forward 4, everyone would always like poke, like do a low poke, and your Melina is like physically above the attack. It would still just hit her out of it. So I feel like that's a nice change. It doesn't seem like it's too broken. She kind of didn't really have too many good normals. She was a character where it's like if you play her fundamentally, like just use the fundamentals, she can like help you out a lot. So I feel like it wasn't too big. It wasn't a game-changing buff, but it was just a nice quality of life buff for the character.
I was gonna say, I actually, maybe someone can correct me. I don't play Melina, but doesn't she have the grab KB about not being airborne or getting hit like Rambo? So doesn't that now affect her ability to get that crushing blow because she's technically airborne every time she does that? Or does that not count against it? Because I don't play her, so I haven't tried her since that. Since she technically has airborne frames, doesn't that mess up the KB?
Yeah, I've not labbed that, so I'm not too sure. But
I would take that as a nerf to her if that's the case.
That's.
I mean, I don't play Melina. I don't know if anyone else wants to weigh in, but I hope what I'm saying is making sense. If you have an airborne and you're trying to get that KB, that's just you doing your move. Like you're just pressuring them, wasting 10 seconds so you can maybe do a setup to get the throw. And now you can't do that anymore because, oh shit, I'm airborne. I forgot about that string. You throw and get nothing, right? I mean, that's kind of rough. I didn't feel like she really needed buffs or nerfs. I felt like she was kind of fine where she was.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, but if that actually, because that could actually be like a big nerf if it counts as airborne frames, or if it counts as her jumping, that could be like a really big nerf to her.
Yeah, I might actually check that out right now while we're doing it.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to see.
Yeah, you can do it. You're the Melina. Anyway, I guess do we want to like come back to that then, since nobody really knows? Since I don't think anybody.
I mean, yeah, I'm not a huge Melina player. Burr, do you have anything you want to add? You're sitting there quiet with your buff Jacqui.
I want Melina to just be deleted.
Oh wow! So okay, I just tested it right now. That's actually a nerf. When you do forward 4, it counts as you jumping. So actually you cannot get the forward throw KB if you do a forward 4. So they actually did nerf her in that regard.
That's ass.
Oh, hilarious! Good job, guys.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Rambo has a similar change then.
So yeah,
Was that intentional?
I don't think so. So now if Rambo goes for his drop kick, his forward 4, like mix-ups, if he goes for overhead and low stuff, if he grabs you, it resets his timer on forward throw.
It's even worse than that, because if he actually gets a combo and then he makes a good read, so he basically, the Rambo player is playing smart, right? He does something good to open the opponent up. You know, if let's say they're running snare trap or whatever they're running, they knock him up, and then they do forward 4 for the armor break, right? And then, you know, he gets right back in and lands the throw. That potentially could have him, you know, he's made 3 correct reads in a row. The Rambo player is outplaying their opponent, and he just got screwed because he either had to choose, well, do I want an armor break or do I want this launcher set up with my throw? That's pretty shitty, in my opinion. But
bro, what if Boone's ultimate troll to all those Melina players was, yeah, I'm gonna put Melina in the game for you guys, but I'm gonna just make her trash. Like,
everyone thought she was trash in the beginning, and then those high size. Oh god,
she's honestly not bad. Like she's mid tier, to be honest. It's just like it's basically just characters do what she does but better. That's honestly it.
Yeah, she's higher up on the tier list than RoboCop. I mean, damn. I feel
Oh
like
my
RoboCop
God.
might need a.
Dude.
All right, moving on to the next character.
I
Moving
think
on.
Melina's fine. She might be like low-ish on the tier list, but I think she's like. I think they could have just not really changed her, just maybe ironed out some bug fixes, and she would have been good. A Melina player, but that's
Yeah,
just what I
honestly, I feel like this patch was majorly like not a huge patch. Obviously, they didn't even go through the entire roster. It was a lot of like fixes and stuff, but we did see a couple of health changes and hit region adjustments, a few other like rare issue fixed stuff. But finishing things off for the patch, we have Rambo here. And Rambo being a character that DreamxEater has been playing a lot recently. Well, oh, you've been playing Rain though too. So, but first thing for Rambo is slightly adjusted the hit regions and repel regions of basic training, which is away, front punch. Lieutenant drop, which I think is his drop kick, towards and back kick, now has
That's what we were
airborne
talking about.
frames when Rambo is off the ground, which I think is fair. And then his last thing isn't too major. His hidden M16 and amplified will no longer sometimes use an incorrect animation when Rambo is hit by Chronica's reversal time. So that's for a story mode stuff. So it's basically the first two. Anybody want to chime in on those?
It's the same
just
thing
like Melina.
for Melina. That's not fair at all. Why would that be
It's a
fair?
nerf.
Yeah,
Access to his crushing blow for doing his overhead. That's dumb.
and that's what I was saying. It's his armor break too. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. If the Rambo makes 3 correct reads in a row, he's totally outplaying his opponent. He opened them up, he armor break them, and then he got the throw. That basically, I mean, I guess he's not getting punished, but in a way, he's getting punished. He's getting nerfed by this essentially.
Yeah, that's
And
awful. I
Rambo is already.
Wait, the drop kick is a nerf?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah,
That's
it's
what
cool
we're
that
just talking about.
it's just like it's the same with Molina's. It's nice that they get to dodge low pokes, but then it hinders their playstyle because it resets the timer on their forward throw KB, so that it goes back from, hey, the KB is ready. Oh, you
Oh,
did
I
this move
forgot
that
about
dodges
the
low.
throw
Guess what?
KB.
Now you gotta go for now you
Oh,
back
but
to 10
that so that
seconds.
counts?
Yeah.
Oh my
It counts as
god.
them being in the air. So it resets that 10-second timer. Yeah, it resets the 10-second timer.
Dude,
so
I didn't
it's
realize
more
that.
of a nerf than a buff to it.
I'll take
Oh
the poke,
shit.
dog.
I know
Yeah,
you
it's
guys
awesome.
were talking about it, but I didn't realize what exactly you guys were getting at. But that's actually big. Ouch.
Yeah, it's
That's
a
what I was
huge
gonna
nerf
say.
for him.
Rambo and Molina aren't, at least in my opinion, I don't think they're terrible. They might be lower on the tier list, but I don't think this was like, you look at what's going on in the game. It's like, what? This is the priority, I guess, is my kind of like my thought process. Why are you maybe nerfing these characters that, if anything, maybe needed a buff, but probably could have just stayed the same or something like that?
But if he
Why
gets
are
the
we
crushing
nerfing them?
blow and the cinematic comes in, will it still count as him airborne?
I think
Yes.
so, because he came off the ground and then the KB triggered, but I'm not positive on that.
Yeah, it
That
would still count because it still counts as him jumping in the air. KB hits, timer's already reset by then, and then if you throw, you would still not get the forward throw KB.
That was my impression as well.
So Molina and Rambo actually got
Interesting.
more nerfs than buffs here.
Mhm.
I think the biggest winners of this patch is Total Khan, Shao Kahn, and Robo. Those are the 3 biggest winners of this patch.
Fucking Kodal, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Kodal
even though Kodal got
just
nerfed, he's
keeps
still the
getting
biggest
stronger
winner.
and stronger. Even if he got 50 health taken away, he's still stronger.
I got him in like top 6 or 7, bro. This character is done with the buffs. I mean, it's getting a little absurd at this point.
At this point, I think he might actually be top 5.
Buffs, but like, well, where were those days? We got the Kodal community now, and this dude is just running rampant, bro. And he's easy as hell too. He's simple to play.
I don't know about top 5, but alright, so
I said 7.
You say Kodal top 5?
yeah.
I said
Kodal is top 5 easy.
He
He's
does
top 10.
amazing. He went up.
I just made a tier list as you guys were talking about. Like,
Where do you put Kodo?
Well, talk about it. Go ahead, man.
all right, so this is my 1 through 10. So I have Cetron, Lou, Joker, Jacqui, Fujin, Shang, Jade, Noob, Sindel, Geras. Those are my top 10.
That sounds pretty good. Wait, why were you laughing, Dream Eater?
I have Noob in there over Kodo.
The thing is, Fujin has amazing movement, and if you fight the only reason why I have Fujin is because I struggle with Fujin. That's like a personal opinion. But I've had people agree with me Fujin being at 5, like him and Shang sharing 5, because Shang has one of like.
I agree with you too. Fujin's amazing, dude.
Yeah,
Is Jacqui on that list again? Where's Jacqui at?
She's at 4.
Okay.
Like she should be.
Before I get ripped apart, the only reason why I have Jacqui at 4 is because, okay, look at Cetron. She's dumb as hell. You have Lou, Mr. Stagger. Like the fact that you can do stand 1 on block and then guaranteed a forward 4, like off of like pokes, like to call out a stagger, it makes me so mad. It bothers me so much. And then I have Joker because the whole kapow with was it the Rising Jack in the Box or something?
Dude,
like
Joker
that?
is amazing, dude. He's got amazing range. Yeah.
And the reason why I had Jacqui at 2 before her like flawless block gap fix, but I feel like, come on, if you're struggling with Jacqui, I feel like it's on you now because me being a Jacqui player is like secondary.
Wait,
like,
hold up. It's on us now. Hold up, dude.
No, okay,
Come on now. She's got pressure. She's a pressure queen.
Hold on, let him talk. I got a point I want to make too.
I see where Burr's coming from here. I see where he's coming from. I completely agree with him. If you're losing to Jacqui now, there's so many people have come up with different tech for Jacqui tech to come around. Every time she goes up for the shrapnel, you can either A, flawless blocker, or if she does shrapnel and coming down to punch you or do another shrapnel, you can dash underneath her. Both options will whiff and you can get a free punish on her.
Yeah, but that, dude, you have to do that on reaction. You cannot.
Listen,
you cannot get that every time.
You can flawless block the shrapnel, and you don't even have to up 2. She's punishable when she falls because she can't do it move.
Yeah.
She can't do anything.
I think that Jacqui, honestly, her reckoning is on its way. We saw it in the 2v2. Cleve tried to pick Jacqui. Izzy tried to pick Jacqui. And Blaze was flawless blocking the shit out of that. Like, he was absolutely ready for it. And once he flawless blocked it, it didn't take any meter expenditure. He just punished it with his
normal strings. Yeah,
normal strings. Like, I think that the Jacqui issue is, in some ways, and I'll admit that I'm one of the players that is on the other side of this, but it is a factor of get good. Like, go in the lab, figure out the flawless block timing. They want you to flawless block, and not enough players are. I will hear players out when they are doing everything the game allows them to, including flawless blocking, and they're still having trouble. Like, if flawless blocking Jacqui, she was still plus, like it still had old jumping properties, or your flawless block attacks all whiffed because she's behind you or some dumb shit, I'll hear those arguments. But anybody that's not flawless blocking Jacqui, stop bitching and start flawless blocking, and then come and
exactly.
Because you're not using them.
You guys are only talking about the leap shrapnel or grenade launcher blast, whatever they're equipping. It's all about the leap. She still, her base kit is ridiculous as is. So the leap you can flawless block, true, like that's on the players, but like how many times have you had them just sitting in your face and you're like, bro, I got them. You're just sitting there waiting for the leap and you're gonna blow their ass up. And they do a 4-3 stagger and it's like, okay, I wasn't quick, I wasn't ready, like that's on me, I'll wait for it. And then they do 1-1, it's +2, right? Or forward 1-1 or whatever it is. And okay, now they're doing it. Okay, now they leaped away. Okay, maybe I'll hit her. Nope, she's leaping back in. Okay, now I'll set up again. It's like, it's ridiculous. Yeah, you can flawless block her, like that's a good change.
Okay.
But it's
the only thing I have to say about that is the 3-4 stagger. Is it 3-4? No, 4-3-1. My bad.
Yeah,
4-3-1. That you can call out unless she's playing the cancel. You can. The only thing I know that's kind of hard to call out is just stand 1 in general. I know that one is, and forward 1. But like the only thing about me when I feel like when I play high level, like when I run with games with like Slink or like Woozy, I can't be doing shrapnel on block. I can't be staggering because they're waiting. So it's like I feel like I'm killing myself when I'm doing like basic Jacqui stuff. Because like when I fight Jacqui myself, it's just AA or flawless block and it's guaranteed all the time. Because once you take away all those tools, you can just zone pretty much. Because if leap You can flawless block the leap if they do the leap to try to do like a jump 2. Flawless block, full punish.
I agree. Like I was agreeing with it. I'm just saying with all the options she already has, for that to just be like a flawless block gap, like that was a good change, but it's not like, I don't know. I mean, when you go into Combat League and you're on 100 ping every other match and you have a Jacqui Briggs in your face staggering, you can't tell me you're calling out the stagger every time, and it's oppressive as hell when it's Jacqui compared to some other.
And to add on to it,
her grabs whiff though, so
and to add on to it,
whiff, but she also reels back about 10 feet when she whiffs grabs, so some characters can't get it down to KB. Like I play Cassie willingly into Jacqui, like that's one of my picks, and you can't down to Jacqui when she whiffs the grab unless she's all up in your face.
I will say that like the flawless blocking is a good answer to Jacqui, but Jackies, if they know you're gonna flawless block, also have answers to that too. They can just change their timing and make you whiff your flawless block up 2, or if you
you don't even have to use up 2. You can just flawless block it and let her fall down, and it's a full punish. Because if the regular shrapnel, if you don't amplify it, it's a full punish. It's like the whole mind game behind it. But as long as you flawless block the shrapnel, if it's amplified or not, full punish. It doesn't matter.
Is that the same thing with the grenade launcher too?
They all have different timings. So the goo one, like the fire one's different from the normal shrapnel, and then you have the rocket. That one's different too. They're all
they all have different timings. Great.
But it's not that bad. It's not.
I guess my point is I agree with TheRoyalBurr, but it's tied to a character that's already good in so many different areas is kind of my issue with it. It's a good change, but it's like with everything else Jacqui Briggs has, she can completely outplay that. You know what I mean? Not every time, but
she has characters that she completely obliterates. Yeah, I get that. But there's like looking at characters right now, there's a lot more characters with potential now with that whole flawless block and shrapnel thing going on.
Right. Kind of like Titanium Tigers was saying like 1 or 2 podcasts ago. I don't remember when that was, but he basically said, and I kind of agree with this, between some variation of like first round KO type of, variation with customs you can put together and the different type of upgraded stuff you want to do, you basically win every single matchup with Jacqui. You know what I mean? There might be, Devora is always going to anti-air her shit every time, but then you pick the other variation of Jacqui. Like, at the end of the day, kind of like you're saying, it's up to the player to flawless block. It's up to the Jacqui to, pick accordingly as well if they want to counter pick. And with custom, she pretty much beats or at least goes even with every single character in the entire game. I mean, that's just my opinion on it. The flawless block, I think, is whatever. It's just the other shit all along with it. That's the issue.
All right, so I do want to wrap up that discussion. I kind of want to move into some character specifics. I want to start off with, let's go to Burr, since he was already talking about his tier list. But so, Burr, who do you play? Why do you play them? And what changes would you like for your characters that you play?
So the main characters I usually use now, I only use Jacqui and Johnny, but I still have my Nightwolf like right there, just in case if I have to. Because after watching Gambler with the whole Hannah's Wrath thing, that is so dumb. It takes away, you can't use meter, and it's insane. Like I never knew about it like that.
And on block.
Yeah, it's crazy. You have to flawless block it.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Just flawless block it.
But I usually just stick with Johnny and Jacqui. Jacqui mainly because a lot of people still can't deal with her, and if I know that, I'm gonna take advantage of it. And I don't really have a specific main. That's why I switch between Johnny and Jacqui. But like Johnny is mainly my go-to because that's just how I am. I like playing offensive.
Your Johnny is amazing, by the way.
Yeah,
amazing.
A lot of people say that it's garbage.
I mean, it's trash.
But I pretty much have the whole cast. But I love I will, like, if I know Johnny versus like Cassie, I will not do it. I will switch. Hell no. Like certain matchups, Jacqui versus Jade, I'm not doing it. I'm specifically a counter picker. Like that's how I've always played. But I think it kills me at the same time.
I think that really is a big staple for Mortal Kombat. Is like and this might be my own personal opinion. Some people might agree, some people might not. But I feel like Mortal Kombat is not a character loyalistic game. Like
It's
they
really
don't
hard to do it.
they don't
It's
want
really
you to
hard.
character loyalist because, well, I don't know if they want you to character loyalist or not, but that's definitely not what the game. If you want to be really good and you want to like win tournaments, you better have the entire roster at your disposal. Because like I know for a fact that Sonic Fox has a good amount of characters in his roster. He doesn't basically he touches everybody. There's not a single person in the roster that he doesn't touch and know almost everything about. And in order to be really good at this game, that's kind of the way you need to play it. You can't just be one trick pony where you only use a single character. So
Unless it's Citron.
see, but that's also a thing that kind of breaks the mold, But are there anything
That's why
that
they're
for your
calling
characters
for-
that you play that you want changes for, or anything that hinders your character?
For Johnny, I feel like he's perfectly. I feel like I'd be crazy if I said he needed anything. Jacqui, just I don't know. The grabs are kind of it sucks, but I don't know. She doesn't really need it that much. But Nightwolf, oh god, don't let me get me started on Nightwolf.
No, get started. Go ahead, dude. That's what this is for.
Nightwolf has so many iffing issues, man. It bothers me. Like he was the reason, like, because I would play in a lot of the tournaments, and I would just suck because, like, I remember I was playing a Destroyers tournament, and I just need one game to like play one more for top 8, and I was like, oh, I got him. Back one 3. The back one hit, but the 3 whiffed, and then guy did 1, 2, 3 fatal blow with Liu Kang. And I've never felt so defeated in my life. And I was just like, bruh. And the only thing is, like, the forward 1 mid, it's always bothered me how a lot of characters can just low profile poke it. Like, it just beats it out. Like, the startup doesn't really do anything. Like, me and Slink have run, like, Katana versus Nightwolf for, like, fucking months. And he just down 3s out of my forward 1. And it bothers me. And I was like, that's a thing? Like, same for Aaron. Like, just and the whole slap thing, it makes it worse because, like, even with the meta, I feel like I would prefer running like Matoka Warrior or anything with Hannah's Wrath, like my best. That's it.
Gotcha. So no changes to Johnny that you
Because
see?
the lightning arrow, like, it's good, but like I don't know, I don't see the use with because it's very punishable mid screen for certain characters. Jake punished, Liu Kang punished, Johnny punished.
You don't see any
like,
uses
cancel
to
pressure
that
mode.
axe thing where he throws his axe on the ground and calls it back?
Okay. The Moonfall? Oh god, I hate that move so much. People are hyping it up. It's so hard to set up. It really is.
Just fought a Nightwolf with that, bro. That shit is not good. You can adapt to that.
not,
Like,
dude.
one game.
Neither is
One game.
Ancestral Light. I was trying to play with that thing and just it's
If a Nightwolf throws that tomahawk on the ground in front of you on block, you better 1, 2, 3 on reaction or something, because that's free. Like, oh my god. Like, I see a lot. I see Bio and like who else is getting away with it? I mainly see Bio get away with it a lot.
yeah, Bio. I saw him using it.
Because, like, if you get it on the ground, they can do a string, and if you try to press back, they can just call it back, and then there you go, you're in the air. And you're like, oh, shit.
But moving on, so now we will be progressing over to SilverSandBag. Silver, who are you playing right now? What changes would you like for those said characters?
So, characters I am currently playing, my 3 mains are Spawn, Fujin, and Shiva. Fujin, I have literally nothing I want to change on him. He's perfect the way he is. Shiva, honestly, since I don't use Dragon Drop or Dragon Stance, I don't have an opinion on either of those moves. I would say her stuff is still really stubby. Like, if you're playing like in that mid-screen range, you sometimes have to rely on just her forward 1, which is like that shield slice forward. Maybe give that slightly more range. Other than that, I don't have like too many things that I think is wrong with Shiva. I think she's pretty fine where she is. She's got the low grab for mix-ups. I also run the Shokan snag for anti-airs, and then she's got a 12 frame punish with the dragon charge, like the shield charge. So honestly, she's a pretty great character. She just doesn't really need much changes. And Spawn, again, another great character. Amazing damage. He's got great space control. He suffers to zoning a little bit, but that's possibly just me not being too great against zoning myself. The only two things I would change about him: give his stand one either more range so it can actually anti-air, or make it have a little bit less recovery. 24 frames of recovery on a stand one is pretty ridiculous. And when he actually gets a parry with the projectile cape, make it so he moves faster, like after he does the parry, because there's a bunch of times where I will parry a
Freeze
projectile
them like
from a
Shang
character.
does. Just freeze them.
Yes.
Just freeze them like Shang.
Freeze them like Shang, because I can parry something, go in for the grab, and then I get down to KB because I was just slightly out of range or something. It's
Yeah,
like, okay, then.
I've done that to you, Silver. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Junk has done that to me before. It's like, I parried him, all right, here's my KB, and then I get down to punished and lose a game because of it. It's like, other than those two things on Spawn, the character's perfectly fine. 3-4, say, like, people complain about 3-4 Fireball. It's honestly a gimmick. If he does it in the corner, you can just duck the first one and then jump over the second one, no matter what timing he does for the amplify. Like, everyone has a way of getting around 3-4, so, like, he's a great character, great punishing, great damage. A little bit of whiffing issues on some characters. Other than that, I got no complaints about it.
All right, awesome. And now Savoyboy, and then we'll move over to you, Dream, since you've been a little quiet. We'll see who you've been playing lately. But Savoy, who do you play? Why do you play them? And what changes would you like for said characters?
I play like half the roster, but I mean, I'll just stick to the main couple. I was actually gonna say 4 real quick, just because Johnny's one of them, and Burr kind of already said the stuff with Johnny. I mean, for Johnny, I wouldn't really change anything either. I think he's one of those characters. It's like, he's hella good right now. He's solid, but he's not like overpowering. I think he's in a good spot. If I was like forced to pick something to change about him, I'd probably just make his hitbox in line, or hurtbox, in line with everybody else. And I mean, I guess if I had to give him a buff, maybe make his straight force balls +3 on hit, because I mean, he's spending a bar on it. +6 is a little too autopilot when you do that, but I don't think he needs it. I think he's kind of just fine. Cassie is another one. Don't really have anything to say about Cassie. I think she doesn't really have a ton of gimmicks. She's good, depending on how good your fundamentals are. She's solid.
Give her back her 50 health.
Oh, there we go. Actually, I was thinking about that before we started. Thank you for reminding me. Her and Sonya, I'm not going to talk about Sonya, but they should have their 1,000 health back. Give Cetrion 950.
I kind of agree with
Cassie's still good.
I agree
I'm not
with
trying
that.
to downplay Cassie. Like, she's still solid right now. She's up there, but like, it doesn't warrant the 50 health gone, in my opinion. The only thing I would really change about her is, why is her 1-1-1 unsafe on block? That's kind of just, I get it's a good auto shimmy, but I mean, there's plenty of there's plenty of stand one strings that are better than hers. I don't know why hers is -8. I mean, yeah, it's not a big deal. It's just, I don't know why it's like that.
Yeah, but it's punishable, but you can then introduce the mind game of, I'm canceling it anyway, and then you're catching people that are trying to punish it, because they have to jab punish it. If they hesitate at all, they'll miss it, which includes also hesitating to make sure you're not canceling it. So once you approach people that are canceling your 1-1-1 or punishing it every single time, 1-1-1 gunshot will catch that motherfucker.
And I do agree. I was thinking about not even bringing it up. It's just, if I had to pick something, I think everything else about her is fine. It's just,
I can agree
it does bring up a decent mind game, but it's kind of like, why? You know what I mean? She has the mind game on back 2-4, forward 3-4. So I mean, that's about it. Scorpion would be another one that I play. I don't have too much to say with Scorpion either, actually. I have a little bit more than those other two. I think he's like finally in a spot where, I mean, how do I put this? People are not like as annoyed with Scorpion anymore. It seemed like when the game came out, it was like, fuck, another Scorpion in Combat League, and they all just jump 3, jump 3, jump teleport, and it's like, dude, I've faced those people, and God, is that shit annoying. I'm just yelling in my head, like, you're giving us a bad name, man. But like, I don't really know, like, he struggles with some stuff, but his teleport is so good, so it's like, it's kind of one of those characters where it's like he has one tool that's like really oppressive, but but his base kit is kind of just, there's nothing really about his base kit that's that crazy. If I had full freedom, again, I'm not like a game developer, if I had full freedom here, I would nerf that back three and make that shit punishable on block. As a Scorpion player, I'm telling you, make that shit punishable on block. It's already insanely fast, and to block that and you get nothing, and then, you know, the type of people that are mashing back three in Combat League are mashing down one right afterward and catching you as well. You know what I mean? That's got to go. But I will say his teleport is kind of, but if you launch somebody with a teleport and you enhance it, right, you're spending the bar. You obviously already hit them. Why can I not get a down two out before they break away? That's my biggest thing. If I'm doing 1-1 punish, you know, my stand one string into a teleport enhance, and anybody who's, you know, at least average has kind of figured this out by now. He's like the most punishable character on breakaway at this point in the game. Maybe not the most, but he's up there, right? Because of the spear.
Mm-hmm.
And then you do an enhanced teleport, and you can't even get your down two out in time. It's like you literally get 14.5 to like 15.5-ish% depending on your starter when you connect, and then they break away.
I think that's kind of more of a flaw of the breakaway system,
right?
Because but yeah, there are a handful of other characters. You know, Spawn just was brought up. His launcher, the breakaway time is so early that there literally is no response that they can have. Rain, actually, I've been playing a lot of Rain. He's got a similar problem. I've been using Water Ball, and they can break out of Water Ball before you even can choose which way to throw them. Let alone the fact that they can break away after they've been thrown and all that shit too, and force you to whiff strings. But they can decide, I'm not even going to fuck with that. I'm just going to break right now while they're in the water ball, like while you're transforming it or pulling it in or whatever. And that is, it feels awful. I don't like characters that have basically breakaway, like anti-breakaway stuff that doesn't exist. I mean, essentially, in order to use Scorpions, you have to do it off of his uppercut KB. Are there any other situations you've found where you can successfully, reliably armor break on somebody? I mean, the only other time is if somebody, for whatever reason, does it slow.
Right. The only other time you can get it is if you launch them, and for whatever reason they're either not breaking immediately or they're not waiting for the forward 3-1-1, the combo extender. They're not waiting for that opportunity that everyone's already breaking it. So yes, you can get it, but nobody is actually going to let that happen. I mean, I've hit that move and I don't even get the connector, the forward 3 afterwards sometimes, because I'm like, holy shit, it hit. Like, I've actually had that happen where I'm like, damn, I actually got it. And the issue with even the down 2 one isn't reliable, because you do down 2. I mean, sure, sometimes people panic and they'll just break away right away, but you'll just wait until you see Scorpion literally press anything except for back 3, and then you break. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I also think what I was talking about too, it's not just a Scorpion thing like you brought up, but making it take longer for people to break away from his teleport enhanced and at least allow us to get a down 2 on a read. That would inadvertently help his back 3, right? It would at least be somewhat more, you know, you'd at least be able to maybe get that back 3 KB sometimes, because, oh shit, they can't break as early, and then maybe they missed it by a couple frames and the back 3 comes out and it can actually catch you now. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I'm not gonna, I don't know if people listen to this hate Scorpion or not, because I know there's a lot of people going both ways, but if you watch any like high level Scorpion, they're not just gimmicking people to death. You know, this Scorpion player's got to work to get their wins. I understand it's, you know, the Combat League Scorpions run around and do all this random ass stuff and catch people, but
Scorpion's got beautiful neutral, dude. His neutral game is top notch.
I do.
Scorpions, I think, has the best neutral. I think the one thing that Scorpion does that what probably irritates more people on like maybe a subliminal level that people don't think about even as much is that Scorpion always controls the pace. There is no circumstance where you get to tell Scorpion to slow down. He can get in when he wants. He can get out when he wants. He can teleport around any and every kind of zoning. So Scorpion really is the one controlling the pace. And if you play really, really patient Scorpions that are comfortable taking a little life lead and that
just running away from you. That can be really frustrating and stressful to deal with. But ultimately, it doesn't feel like the character's busted. Like, he doesn't have a broken like Cetrion wall to keep you out when you're trying to get in, and there are ways that you can kind of spook a Scorpion into making a mistake. Not to mention, if they are teleport canceling around, when you do catch them, they're not breaking out of it. So I think all in all, the character ends up being balanced, but the character's ability to control the neutral game, control the pace, is so incredibly powerful that he gets to apply it in almost every matchup too, which I think is really key. That he gets to do what he wants to do every single time. There is no character that says, well, you can't do the Scorpion stuff. I mean, even Jade with the glow, Scorpion doesn't really care about it because Spear is not a neutral tool. Whereas Jade says to a lot of other characters, fuck that part of your game, and Scorpion just doesn't care.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of along the lines of what I started with. Like, he has a really good tool, which I was referring to, like the teleport, and you kind of expanded. It controls the neutral. It's a combo starter. It's everything. But at the same time, he doesn't have anything else in his kit or even in customs that's like, holy shit, right? So I don't think he really need. I would like to see that change to the teleport. I mean, it's not just a Scorpion problem, but it's like, goddamn, I'm wasting so much defensive meter trying to make all these plays, and then I catch you and I get 14.5%. Feels bad, man. Like, that just bugs me. And I mean, I wouldn't change too much else. Like you said, he controls the pace. It's just he can kind of get mashed on because he doesn't have a fast mid. Not that his mids need any changing. They're fine. They both have a purpose, but he can kind of get mashed on. You know, he can mash back too, but. I mean, I'm willing to work with people here. We can nerf the back three, that overhead, and make it punishable if you just let me get my down two out, you know? If I was being picky, I'm sure I could think of other things, but those are the main things I would change on him. Maybe make the 2-1-2 gap a little bit smaller, but at the same time, that's +7 on blocks, so it's a pretty strong tool.
I do want to go back on to something because we had a comment in chat that I wanted to see. Since you guys said you both play Johnny, and then we'll move on to Dream Eater. Since you guys both play Johnny, Burr, and Savoyboy, so Y2J came in saying, fix the inconsistent straight force balls whiffing on Raiden, Kitana, and Melina. Still completely whiff on Johnny and Joker. Is that something you guys wish that would be fixed with Johnny?
Oh, you can go first. Go ahead.
So where is that comment at so I can read it? Is it like all the way up there? Hold up.
Yeah, you're gonna have to scroll up a little bit.
Oh, I see it. Fixing
the force balls again. Same issue.
I don't use the straight force balls. I use the low ones, like the ones that curve. So that's all you, Savvy.
Yeah, I was actually going to make a point to that too. Kind of like how when I was talking about him, I said I wouldn't really change much about Johnny except for fixing his hurt box. I think that's. I mean, yeah, his force ball should hit, yes. Whether that's a buff and that he doesn't need or not, I think everybody's move should hit as intended. His hurt box should be fixed so other people can hit other moves, but vice versa. Everyone else's hurt box should be fixed so he can hit his force balls. So, I mean,
I got no sympathy on whiffing issues from a Johnny player. I got none.
No, trust me. I didn't bring Frost into this. I know we're already at.
Same for you Joker players. This should hit Nord. No, it shouldn't.
I'm not bringing Frost into this. We'll be here for another hour talking about whiffing issues. But yeah, obviously, I think everybody should be on par. So yes, I think they should be fixed. But I think plenty of other people, like Dream said, are having issues with Johnny himself while profiling. So I mean,
I just feel if you're using the straight force balls, you should only use them in certain matchups, and that's just me.
And that's the point I was making when you said low force ball. I always get, who said that? Y2J was talking about it. We've actually ran the noob Cybot matchup, and she doesn't like it. And I always say, well, don't run straight force balls. Run the low force ball, and suddenly the matchup changes. And I think it's more in Johnny's favor with low force ball because he gets caught on everything. You can't slide from full screen. You at least trade with his ghost ball at full screen. You beat his clone run. He's got a YOLO teleport or get in, right? So, I mean, even at slide max distance, how Noob Cybot kind of like ducks down a little bit, if you're at the perfect distance to where slide is going to clip them, just, you know, as far as you can go with slide, the Johnny player's throwing the low force ball, the low force ball still hits Noob. I mean, Noob's loading a KB, but it's just to the point that you can switch to low force ball at any point. Like, you know what I mean? It's not nobody's holding the Johnny players back. I mean, I don't run low force ball, but I've acknowledged I don't run low force ball, and I know I can switch it if I need to.
Gotcha.
That's
fair.
I think that's the overall idea, is that like if you know it doesn't work, don't use it in those matchups. I think that's what Burr was saying, is you should not be using it in certain matchups, and I'm sure those matchups end up including the ones where it ends up whiffing, and it's one of those things where like it might not feel right, it might not feel good when the game doesn't work the way that you would want it to, but this is how it works, so you got to make those adjustments and just realize that, all right, I guess when Raiden's on the screen, I gotta go with my mid force ball build, or I gotta at minimum not use that approach because it doesn't work, which can be somewhat frustrating, but it's an adjustment you got to make.
For those specific characters, when I do run low force ball, like I know people like to do the straight force ball and block to guarantee the safe distance. But honestly, knowing those characters with their advancing moves, you just back up with Johnny low force ball, hits him right in the face.
Hit him in the face, yeah, exactly.
And then your buzz on hit. So it's like, come on now.
Yeah.
All right.
So I guess to answer the question, yes, it should be fixed, but it's all whipping issues and hurt box issues should be fixed. We're almost 2 years in now, so I don't know.
That's the thing, they probably won't be now, right? Like that.
Yeah,
that might be the design decision. They want
Characters to have some things whiff on others, and that's just how it is. They could fix it if they wanted to, and they don't. They clearly don't seem to want to fix it. So
Rough Jacqui.
So getting into last but not least, of course, Dream Eater, do you want to comment on some of the characters that you've been playing recently? And if there are any, what changes would you like from those characters?
I'm not necessarily an individual that is demand heavy on changes, so I'm pretty good with where the characters that I'm playing are at right now for the most part. I've been playing a lot of Rain, a lot of Water Ball, and Hydro Boost, because Hydro Boost just gives you dumb damage. I was discovering today that I can hit like 420 damage in the corner with Hydro Boost.
Other Rains are discovering the tech.
Yeah, so there is some pretty wild damage available to Rain in the corner, which is pretty cool. So I've been having a lot of fun just playing Rain. Not to mention he's got really great corner carry with Argus Plunge, which on top of that is his armor break. So it's like, if I want to take you to the corner or go into the fucking corner, you can early break out of it. So it's like it's not guaranteed, but whatever. I'm also safe when you do that. Like I Argus Plunge to the other side of the screen. I'm not getting punished. So it's a lot better than some other characters. When somebody breaks out of their stuff, they get kind of blown up for it. But I've been really enjoying Rain. He's a lot of fun. I'm hoping, and it's probably not going to happen, that he gets some more custom outfits and stuff like that as we go into the future of the game. I'd love to see more Combat League outfits for DLC characters. We finally saw it. For the first time fucking ever, we saw Sindel end up getting a Combat League outfit, and NRS has not made DLC outfits for DLC characters.
Oh, didn't Shao get Chaos skins though?
Shao doesn't count in my opinion because he's a pre-order bonus, so it's just the character was always there or whatever. So they had gear for him, and then they just cut it out. They carved it out as its own separate thing before the game was even out. Because Shao has his own treasure chest in the crypt and all this other shit that the DLC characters don't get either.
Okay.
So I would like to see some more custom stuff come through in Combat League. It's weird because I know the next at least 13 seasons are going to be seasons and gear we've seen before, but what the future holds after that, who knows? Probably not, but we'll see. And then I've been kind of leaning into going back to Noob Saibot. I've had some fun playing Combat League, running into some good Noob Saibot players. I've been feeling some inspiration. I just recently did a match analysis featuring Abyss, who is probably one of, if not the best Noob Saibots out there right now, and that really got me thinking about okay, this character actually can be good in the right hands, and look at this crazy stuff that he's doing that I didn't even think of. So I'm going to definitely be going back to Noob here in a little bit, giving him a try. And, he's a lot of fun. The one thing I'm really looking forward to is kind of experimenting with the builds. The problem with Noob, in my opinion, before was I couldn't have low slide in my build, right? I want to do what I want to do, but I want to have low slide because I feel like low slide is, and this is maybe a problem
with the build system to some degree. But low slide is one of those; it's mandatory. Being able to amplify it into counting as 2 clones, so that you can basically make sure you get your running man clone KB every game. That is so incredibly powerful that you can't be skipping it. Like, there's very little argument to skip it. And there's a handful of other characters that have similar stories of like, can you make a justification for why Liu Kang shouldn't take low fireball? And it's very hard to do so. So I think it's a lot of fun with the low slide being able to have my clone KB available, and now just kind of figure out the combo routes. And he does good damage, so feels good to be kind of back behind the noob seat and hitting some numbers again.
Awesome. That's awesome to see. Dude, honestly, I loved playing Rain when I did get a chance to play with him for a bit before I got sucked back into the Robo hype train. But, I mean, is there anything else? He's getting better, okay? He's getting better. Getting there. Is there anything else anybody...
recovery.
Yeah.
When is the MK movie trailer coming out? Can someone tell me?
Can we?
Yeah,
Can we
please.
know more about
Bring
that?
like 2 seconds spoon-fed to us at a time.
Who is the coal guy, apparently?
Yeah, we have definitely a lot of questions.
I mean, a
about
little
that.
off
Hopefully
topic.
we'll get more information.
Let's get into that just for a little bit. But like, who here is actually super
mean,
hyped
Mortal
for the
Kombat.
movie?
I am, honestly. I
hyped but
I didn't
cautious.
see the original Mortal Kombat movies, but I'm
But
actually
what?
hyped about this one. Yeah, I know.
Come on, bro.
Just to me, I haven't seen them. I'm gonna watch the movies before this one comes out. But
But dude,
But,
all right,
like,
just watch the first one for fuck's sake,
Yeah,
dude.
the
That's
second
all
one
you
is not
need.
worth watching.
They're so cheesy,
I'm
bro.
just
like,
excited to see like real stunts and stuff looking like the game, so I'm kind of like stoked for that.
Dude, I'm
I don't
with
know
you,
if
bro.
super
Though.
hype is how I'd put it. I'm hopeful that it's going to be good, but I don't necessarily know if I'm super hype about it. I also don't know how I feel about this Cole character. The way that the storyline the coolest thing to me is the idea that we might get to see a little bit more of Kano's betrayal. Kano's storyline has always been like arch rival of Sonya, but as soon as you meet Kano, Sonya just hates him right away. You know what I mean? Like, Sonya just auto hates him from the get-go. I think in the first movie, like, which is the good movie, she like meets him in a club, then a bunch of people get shot, now she hates him right away. And there's not a lot of like understanding as to what went on. This time around, though, the way that the notes for the movie have it seems like Kano's a good guy or training with the good guys to some extent. So if there is like this Kano's a good guy and we get to see the turn, I think that kind of arc would be actually really cool. I think Kano, for the most part, is a character that he's a scoundrel, he's a rascal, and he's very, very one-dimensional.
I love
he's
this.
Very,
The
very
Kano
much,
hype.
He's just that. And it'd be cool to get a little bit extra, dimensions to Kano to see a little bit maybe of how he got that way or whatever. I mean, it's not that it's even part of it's cool because it's so over the top bad guy that it's like funny. But maybe they're gonna try to humanize it a little bit or whatever. And then when it comes to Cole, I'm excited about a new character in the game. I've always thought that Mortal Kombat could use DLC characters that don't necessarily have to be even from the backlog. Granted, Mortal Kombat has such a great backlog that it's like a case of like, well, you guys can make a new character after you put Smoke in. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's going to feel like, we don't want this new character. You need to bring back Takeda and, my favorite character this, my favorite character that. But I do ultimately think that it's not unheard of for the Mortal Kombat devs to make a brand new character that's DLC. If you look at their competitors, Tekken made Fuck Your Mom and Leroy. You've got
Fuck Your Mom?
his name is Fakuram, but everyone calls him Fuck Your Mom.
Oh my
Whatever
god.
he said. Then you've got Street Fighters introduced some like brand new iterations of characters or whatever in Street Fighter 5. So it's not wild for these.
Girl.
Well, yeah, but I mean, even beyond that though, they've had like all new, like, who the fuck is that kind of characters.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool. So I would like to see some of that maybe from NRS. Cole is going to be a new character in the franchise. I'm curious what his powers are going to be. I think that's going to be the big question, and then how do they end up incorporating those? I don't think he can just be a kung fu dude. He fucking better not be. That's going to be so boring.
Well, he's just like an M3 fighter.
Yeah, it looks like that he's going to be MMA and not just boring or not kung fu's not boring, but not just stereotypical kung fu.
No. He needs to fucking shoot lightning. Like I do not need him to be throwing punches and kicks. He needs to be able to fly. He can teleport. He turns himself into slime. I don't care what he does, but it better not be just punching and kicking. I swear, if they just bring like, oh, and it's Cole the guy. Fuck that. He better be a secret demon, dude. I want
Honestly,
wings. I want him to have a flight mode.
I don't think that's gonna happen because from the pictures that they have released, they showed already Liu Kang holding like fire in his hand. So I think they're already addressing the fact that some of these special powers are going to be held by the fighters and stuff. So it would be really
so you
shocking.
Can give powers to this dude.
No, that's what I'm saying. It'd be really shocking for them to just do that.
I don't think we know enough.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Junk, you're totally right. Yeah, like they've got people wielding powers already. If Cole, the MMA guy, is out here like, well, yeah, but what if I get him in an armbar? Like, dude, fuck you. Like, that guy shoots fire. Fuck you.
Dude, what if they just turn Cole into Crypt Guy? He just
Give him a
steals
big
everything
hammer.
off everyone else.
I mean,
yeah, just give him a big hammer. Give him
He becomes our Seth. He's got a bit of everybody's moves. He's got the Scorpion Spear and the Shao Hammer.
I guess then he would just be Chameleon and what's his name? Fucking Shujin or whatever the guy's name is.
Shujinko?
Yeah, Shujinko. Okay,
you were about to say
right.
Shujinky Dink, weren't you?
Yeah, I almost said Shujinko.
Just give him an arm.
He got you.
And shrapnel. Cole will be fine.
He said Cole is just Cobra.
Yeah,
Turn him into Sentinel. Give him Rocket Punch. Give us a Marvel character. Rocket Punch.
Rocket Punch.
Dude, fuck Rocket Punch.
I think Cole will. I think Cole will probably, hopefully, have powers. If he's got powers, then I think he'd be a cool addition to the game. Because for me personally, I don't really care about the movie. It'll be cool to watch, good or bad. There'll probably be some shithead love story that I don't care. I bet you Cole's got a girlfriend we're all gonna have to fucking meet, and nobody's gonna care about. No, it's not gonna be Sonya. Sonya's gonna fall in love with Jacqui or whatever, but they're gonna meet Cassie or whatever, or some dumb shit. But I mean, ultimately, like, I don't care. I don't care about like Cole's backstory or love story. I just want to see him fight, and the more fight scenes, the better. Because I'm more worried about what are we gonna get in the game. What is the representation gonna be in the game? I'm gonna watch the movie. Maybe I'm gonna play the character in the game. Absolutely, because I'm buying whatever DLC pack he comes in, so he's going to be played. So I'm just hoping that he can end up being fun and interesting, and if they give him some cool power sets, that's how we'll get that. I don't really know what they could end up doing with him. That would be interesting because they have a lot of the stuff covered, right? Like you've got, Katana and Fujin doing a bunch of wind stuff, Cetrion does a bunch of wind stuff, Scorpion and Sub-Zero, or Scorpion and Liu Kang are doing fire stuff, Sub-Zero's doing ice, Rain is doing water, Gears is doing earth. Like a lot of like the elemental shit is kind of covered. I mean, there's some of the stuff is like, well, what do you call what Johnny's doing? I don't know what you call what Johnny's doing. I don't know what you call Shang's doing. I mean, I guess Shang's doing like morphing, but a lot of the stuff is in some ways covered. But I mean, that's also part of it. It's like that their creativity is what we love them for, and that what they do come up with is hopefully going to be this crazy, like, oh, I didn't even think of that, and this shit is awesome. Like if he turns into acid or whatever, that'd be crazy. But I mean, who knows what we'll end up getting. I think that if we do get something, though, it'll be cool. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, I'd just say I'm optimistic about it. Like I'm excited about it, but I'm a little wary, I guess. I'm just not wary, maybe that's not the right word, but there's always that fear that it's going to be like a B movie. You know what I mean? Like it's really low budget, maybe some cool action scenes, which I would still watch it if I hear it's terrible, but the action scenes are really cool. I'm still going to watch it, but I'm hoping it's like actually good. That way, it can potentially get a sequel in the future that isn't like the last Mortal Kombat sequel. Like, oh, good God.
Well, I'm curious what timeline they're going to try to put it in as well. Like, there's a bunch of questions that we don't know. Is this going to be in any way anchored to the games that we're playing right now? Or is this going to be its own complete thing? I mean, if anybody remembers Mortal Kombat Legacy, that was like grounded in a little bit more like reality or whatever. Like, and so they have all these different sort of universes they could try to exist in, or they could try to coexist within the realm that we're playing in. Like Chronica could show up at the end or some shit, but who knows?
That kind of determines the Cole thing too, is if they're not going to follow the lore or whatever you want to call it by the games, then Cole could potentially be any character prior to being the character we know them now. to be. You know what I mean? So it just depends. Are they going to follow the lore? Is this legit going to be like the Johnny Cage replacement for this movie series, or whatever? I don't know. So it really just depends what route they go, like you were saying, and I think that kind of affects Cole as well. So I guess we'll just see.
I definitely agree. I mean, I'm looking forward to it, but I'm kind of with Burr where I'm like, I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also like, I got my guard up because I'm worried that it's gonna be a little crappy. I mean, not gonna lie, the poster art they have the dragon and the MK, it doesn't look that crazy. Like, I thought it was gonna look way better than that. I feel like the original 90s version Mortal Kombat symbol and everything looked way better. But that's why I'm kind of like, I'm gonna watch it, but I'm like, I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried. Yeah, and I've been told that it's from chat that it's actually a prequel. I'm not 100% if that's correct, but we'll see how they do with the movie. But I mean, I'm still looking forward to
another
it.
fucking origin story, dude. Do we really need another one of those? Like, this is the first tournament. All the shit that all the fans know all about. Let's remind them and take it back to page fucking 1.
Exactly.
Dude, that's awful. And that's every comic book movie. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, we got to figure out how he became Spider-Man for the third fucking time. And I just want to, like, can we just fucking see him, like, being full-blown Spider-Man, not, like, 2 hours of trying to figure out how web swinging works?
I would have liked to see I would have honestly liked to see a Mortal Kombat movie of how Shao Kahn started all this conquest. Like, an origin story of Shao Kahn himself. Like, that would have been
live action,
or like
MK9.
That would be tight. That would be tight. Like some shit we haven't seen before, or like
Burr, 100%. I agree with that. A live action MK9 because I love the MK9 story. Not gonna lie.
I think MK9 story was like superior to like all the newer ones.
100% agree.
You could literally start the movie.
Well, which newer ones? You mean which newer ones?
I like it more than MKX, but I kind of have it. I don't know. How do you guys feel about Aftermath? Because I didn't like the regular MK11 story.
Aftermath took MK11's story, like, it gave MK11 the ending and story path that it should have had to start with. Like, Aftermath was like, this is what should have been in the game from the beginning. This is how it should have ended. And
because MK9, I bet it was in the game from the beginning, and they cut it off.
I completely disagree.
To me, like, MK9 is like the original story. Like.
Yeah, MK9 probably actually does end up having the best story. It's got the best pound-for-pound roster. There's not really any big shitters on there, and if you look at those shitters even now, it's like those characters have become so much better in their current iterations that looking back at MK9, they're not shitters anymore. Like, yeah, I would definitely want them to be there. I mean, you got all the robots, you got all the ninjas.
The OG, like the OG cast.
Yep.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's maybe a handful, a small handful of characters that are missing from that game, and even then, you'd have to make drawn out arguments about it to really justify it. So yeah, I think MK9 is a cool story. MK11, I mean, I think the stories have gotten better. I think what would probably be the coolest would be a movie that does the MK9 story, and then you can kind of cliffhanger it into the MKX story, perhaps. I don't even fucking remember the MKX story, to be honest. That much of a blur.
Yeah, skip the MKX. I feel like MK9 into MK11 would be a solid story.
It's easy to do too, because the groundwork's already there, and you could literally just start the movie off with some typical crawl that says it's been blah 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 tournament, Shao Kahn's on the verge of doing this, and then show a little thing where Raiden resets the timeline, and in the first 5 minutes you're completely caught up, and then you have the whole MK9 movie.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as we go straight to a tournament, I'm kind of cool with that. I think that, I mean, I guess I was saying I don't want an origin story, but I guess I don't want them to wind it too far back. But if we're gonna just do if we're doing the MK1 true to it, I wouldn't mind seeing that in like an updated, nicer version of it, because I think even when we think of MK9, that does start with the MK1 story. I would prefer if they could find a way to speed run and stuff MK1 through 3 in one movie, much like they did with MK9, or the kind of the events of, but with the MK9 twist of we're doing time travel here, so things might change or whatever, like Kung Lao dying, that's not original or whatever, but here we are. So I think that would be cool to kind of maybe speed run through 1 through 3, because the tournament stuff I think is the coolest stuff storyline that they've had. I don't really give a shit about like, oh no, Shinnok's amulet, or oh, Chronica and her weird fucking nature bitch right here. Like, I do not give a shit. Please just let me play online. So as far as the movie goes, a tournament. I want a tournament. The tournament's been the coolest shit.
Oh yeah.
Fuck all this other
Speaking
weird
of online, we
shit.
never touched up on the topic you wanted to vent about, DreamxEater, about the Wi-Fi Combat League stuff.
I just want to say, Wi-Fi filters should be in the game. I'm fucking
Really
sick and tired of having to play these Wi-Fi scrubs that barely sneak underneath the ping filter because it's at 145 when we meet on the fucking match selection screen, and then in the match we're just drowning in 300 ping the entire time. It makes the experience fucking awful. It is horrific trying to just go out there and enjoy the game because these degenerates that just think it's acceptable to play online like that are everywhere. I don't understand. There was like this weird time that happened in society where people were like, yo, Wi-Fi is the shit. It's super cool. It was like a luxury. Not everybody had it. And now every motherfucker has it, and it's fucking awful. I hate it. And a Wi-Fi filter would be so convenient. I'm sure everybody here would agree. Wi-Fi filter, yes, please.
Yeah. I would just say an easy way to fix it because they're probably thinking, well, crap, all of our whole fan base is freaking. Our whole fan base is on Wi-Fi. You know, that might be what NRS is thinking or something. I think an easy way to fix it is just to maybe make the cap lower to where we can decline at least. I mean, that's a start.
For Wi-Fi players, yes, definitely lower the cap on the decline, but I'm thinking put a Wi-Fi filter in Combat League. Let people that have Wi-Fi still play it, but like a lot of those are bottom barrel people that are just trying to get their 2 matches of the day done so they can get the skin or whatever, and they don't care enough to come back if they're even still playing the game a year later now. And like, make those people all play with each other. I don't fucking care about their plight. And at the higher levels, when the people that are dedicated and willing to grind out Combat League, I'm just so sick and tired of having to run into these underwater Jackies. It's so awful.
I agree. I just want to say, just to like try to find a middle ground, I guess, if they could fix it in one patch, and then maybe not fix it, but make it better. You just lower the cap on where we can decline. And also, just like a personal gripe on this topic, like kind of like you said, why is it never accurate? I mean, you see the ping, you automatically know it's going to be 30 ping higher when it gets into the match. Even if they just fix that program or whatever the hell it is that reads people's connection right before they're about to go in, like even if that was fixed, that would be a huge step up, because now 150 ping is actually 150 ping instead of, like you were saying, oh, it's 149, you get in the match and it's 180 to 220 spiking. It's like, if they're at 100 and it's wrong, okay, it's 130 to 160, you can kind of manage. But when you're right at that cusp of that cutoff, like you're saying, there's ways to go around it without completely doing what you're suggesting, which, not that I disagree with, but I feel like NRS does not want to do that. It's just my point.
I wish they would. I mean, I totally agree, though. They don't want to. Just like they don't want to change breakaway input, they don't want to change the way that you do this. Like this, it's just not a priority. It's not something that they're really putting high on their list. So very unlikely that there will be any Wi-Fi filter introduced. The Wi-Fi filter, if you want one, is play casual matches, decline every Wi-Fi player. Like that is the Wi-Fi filter that they wanted. You know, find matches on Discord, search for players in the room, decline Wi-Fi players. That's how they want you to do it. So
I was just trying to find some sort of middle ground, I guess, but I agree.
It's all good. It's just a gripe, but it's sadly, it's just, you know, it's like, you know, shouting in the wind, unlikely to change, and that's the design they have for it. And, you know, if their Wi-Fi is bad enough, the game will drop. You don't lose the points. So when it's really shitty, it's only frustrating momentarily. And I don't know, for as many points as I've lost from lag, I've probably won some points from them dropping their own combos, which is not great. That's not a justification for it. I prefer to play the game in a stable format, but the lag sword definitely goes both ways. So
Yeah, to be honest, guys, I don't have Twitter. I don't have all that. I try to stay off social media, so mine's pretty easy. I just stream on Twitch, and I have a Discord for my Twitch. Twitch.tv/my name, and it's Savoyboy, one word with 2 Y's on the boy. So Savoy, BOYY. And then I have a Discord, but I mean, if you guys come by the Twitch, I'll just link the Discord. That's about it. I'm not on Twitter or anything, so if I make one, I'll just let people know.
All right,
I just
awesome.
stream MK.
Awesome. Thank you, Savoyboy. Thanks for being here. And to continue wrapping things up, I'm going to move down to SilverSandBag. What's your social media stuff? Give us the spiel.
All right, guys. You guys can find me at Twitter at SilverSandbag. You can also find me. I do stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/SilverSandbag. I have a Discord as well, but you'll just find that on my Twitch profile if you go. Basically, I also stream MK, stream other games. Usually, when I'm streaming right now, I'm currently going through a Resident Evil 4 playthrough. Game's actually really fun and also infuriating.
First time, or have you played it before?
First time, yeah, first time. I haven't played it before, so
it's a good one. It's a good one. How far are you? I know this is a sidetrack. How far are you?
I just beat that stupid big fucking fish. I hated it so much. I hated that.
Oh, you were super early then. All right. It's a good one. It's a good one. Stick with it. Stick with it. It's a good one. Worth.
So I'm getting through that. The game's really fun, getting frustrating a little bit, but it's fine. I have horrible aim. Another discussion for a different time. But if you guys do want to check it out, I have a great community. Everyone usually has a good time when they come over. So feel free to come and watch, leave a follow, anything you guys want. And yeah, that's all I got to say for me. Thank you for having me on.
To continue wrapping things up here for the discussion, go ahead, RoyalBurr. Where can people find you, bro?
Pretty simple. My Twitch, Twitter, and Discord are all the same. TheRoyalBurr. If you want to come watch me rage over some let's say they have peanut brain type KO players, you just come to me. If you want to watch me rage in any other game, it's on my Twitch majority of the time. Right now I'm taking a big little break, but other than that, yeah, I'm the tribe leader. So the other account is the Royal Tribe FGC, and also that's it. That's pretty much.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm a part of that tribe as well. Luckily, I was able to make my way through, survive the gauntlet in order to secure a spot in that tribe. So again, thank you, Burr, for letting me be a part of your team. And
No
last
problem.
but not least, by the way, I 5-0'd Burr on my tryouts. I just have to shout that out.
It's okay. I 10-0'd them like a week ago. So
Whoa, hey, dude! I don't know what you're talking about, dude. So to continue, we're gonna give DreamxEater the opportunity to get his social media out there and save me the embarrassment that I just went through.
I primarily really want to shout out the fact that the Nightmare series is making its comeback. So if you've got an Xbox and an Ethernet cable and you're trying to play in Mortal Kombat 11 tournaments, the Nightmare series is back. The biggest tournament available on Xbox right now. We've already got 35 players. Starts February 9th. So still got about a week and a half left to go, and a grip of players already signed up. So definitely add your names to the list, because I would love to see some more faces out there. And the sign-up link for that is going to be smash.gg/DreamMK. So that is where you can find that. If you want any updates or anything further from that, you can find me on Twitter, twitter.com/DreamxEaterx. Same for my Twitch as well. The Twitch is where the Nightmare series is going to be streamed. That's going to be Tuesdays and Saturdays. And then I also have been doing match analysis every Monday. So I've been taking a look at Champions of the Realm matches, Pro Tour matches, basically any high-level matches from all over the place, and kind of breaking down those sets. And you can definitely take a look at those. I'm live streaming the match analysis on Mondays. And then, of course, you can find the archives of that, each individual set and analyzed, up on YouTube at youtube.com/DreamxEater or DreamxEaterMK, something like that. If you just type those words into the thing, you'll find me.
Awesome.
Also, RoboCop is fine.
Okay, just had to throw that last jab in on me, huh?
5 seconds. Just real quick, NRS, can we get a cross-gen King of the Hill here so I can do these without going back into the other room, dusting off my Xbox One out of the freaking closet, and then bringing it back over? I just wanted to say that I can't do King of the Hills or Xbox tourneys, and the Xbox tourneys are already less prominent than the PlayStation is anyway. But Anyway,
Tyler,
No,
Stephanie, if you're
everything
listening
they
to
did.
this podcast, we urge you, hear our cries.
just cross-gen, cross-plays, whatever. Cross-gen, please. That's it.
Would be
Still
nice.
What do you mean?
Seriously, it would be nice. And I am, of course, the Junk Box. You guys can follow me here at this Twitch that you're currently watching, or you can also follow me at Junk on Yo Bunk at Twitter, the Junkbox _ on Instagram, and you can also like and subscribe if you are watching this on YouTube. On the Junkbox channel over at Junkbox. Seriously, big special thanks thanks to my co-host DreamxEater, and
Thanks.
by all means, go sign up for that tournament. Get your opportunity. All Xboxers, go sign up for that. And a big special thank you to the guests, the Savoyboy, SilverSandBag, and TheRoyalBurr. Seriously, thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a wonderful night, and we'll see you next time for the State of the Game podcast.